Hey, you guys, we're back here with another amazing interview with an Afro-Brazilian who you guys need to know. Let me introduce to you our special guest today. But actually, before I introduce you, give me a second while I just share our video, our interview in all the right places, because we want to make sure as many people see this this interview as possible. But before we start, so Davi, how are you doing? Let's make a little bit of small talk while I share this video.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, really good.
And how's have you been staying inside?
Yes, I'm worried about the coronavirus crisis in Maranhão because people right get out like crazy.
Hmm.
So everywhere in state have like agglomeration, and the number of people infected by COVID just get up. I
Uh,
don't know. Yes, you have like more than 30,000 people infected in Maranhão. Almost 30, yes, more than
and
30.
how is the governor? Are you comfortable with how he's managing it?
Yes, in the first 2 3 more annuals, because he's really much have like show to keep people inside to work off this kind of um, social isolation like lockdown. But after lockdown, he just like open everything. It's like
Everything is
you
open
are, yeah, almost everything because yeah, it's 2 weeks he's start open the theater. So
now. Hmm.
next week you're gonna be open the university, a shopping center, church. So I don't know what's will happen here.
Man. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm ready. So
Okay.
let me introduce you guys to Davi Pereira Junior. Before I start, let me just tell you guys this is a very unique opportunity because it's not often that we have people on here who are not from Rio, not from Sao Paulo, and he's from a Quilombo, and he's speaking in English. This is like a very rare opportunity. So please pay attention. So, Davi Pereira Jr. was born in a traditional Quilombola in the how do I pronounce this? I'm sorry. Itamatuchio. Is that correct?
No, it's Itamatatiwa.
Itamatachio.
Yes, it's
Okay.
correct.
In Brazil, and he grew up seeing his land struggle for land rights firsthand. His academic research and advocacy focuses on conflicts over land and natural resources and the impact of mega projects like the Alcantara Lunch Center
Yes.
in his hometown of Maranhão on traditional communities. Davi's work to support the rights of traditional communities has fostered connections among Black ethnic groups across Latin America and contributed to social mapping projects like the new social cartography of the Amazon project. Welcome, Davi. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview with me. My goal is to make sure that as many people know about your work as possible, and we cannot allow Portuguese to be this barrier. So thank you. I thank you for learning English so you can communicate to us what is going on in your land and who you are. So how are you doing? You doing good?
Yes, I'm doing good. Actually, I wanna say thank you for you for the opportunity because I think it's no opportunity to me, but opportunity to share this struggle of this amazing people of Quilombola from Alcantara, in general Quilombola from Brazil.
So so I've interviewed probably about 10 people, and I always actually start off with the same question. My first question always connects to everybody's background, like their childhood and how they grew up. And I always start with this question because our audience, most of us are not familiar with Brazil. We don't know what is a typical childhood in Brazil. Of course, there is no typical childhood in Brazil. So my first question to you, even before we discuss what is a Quilombo, I want you to tell us about your childhood. How, what does it mean to grow up in a Quilombo? And tell us about your parents, your sisters and brothers, your education. And how was it growing up in a Quilombo?
Oh, and growing up in Quilombo is so amazing. My mother is a teacher for elementary school. My father is working the small farm. I went to school where my mother was the teacher. What is good. Sometimes it's not.
Had to do all your work.
Yeah, sometimes it's not good because I'll say yes. The good justice start for the people at home. So I also was a challenge to me because my community in that time have only into the third grade.
Wow.
I did the third grade 4 times.
You did third grade 4 times?
Yes. That's why it's well done. But it's because it's to show how Brazilian state is really racist. How the structural racism working for black people in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
So for me go to the 4th grade, I have to move to São Luís, the capital of the state. It's like about 10 miles from my community. It's not too far, but my family have to move. But grow up in Quilombo's community means you are grow up in safe place in the protection of the community. It's really in the community people take care each other. Also you grow up like on the protection of the community where the racism is no visible so much because you have only black people there. But when you get out of the community, you start to face racism. It's happy for me. Also, you develop good relationship with the land, with the nature, with the natural resource, because you only take from the land or the natural resource enough to provide the livelihood for your family, because the natural resource belong to everybody in the community. Everybody take it, what is necessary to survive.
So we kind of skipped ahead. I asked that you, in your own personal definition, what is a Quilombo? Because some of us probably might not know what is a Quilombo.
I have two ways to explain what Quilombo is. You can explain a historical way. Quilombo was formed by people who run away from the slavery. A big community by their own. So this is not only a Brazilian phenomenon, it's a diasporic phenomenon, because you can find it everywhere in Americas. If you go to Colombia, you have like palenques. If you go to Honduras, you have garifunas. If you go to Venezuela, you have cumbre. You have across Latin America, these organizations. For me, it's a basic black organization, radical black organization, because it's part of the black radical tradition, which emerged to face, to overcome slavery. So people who live in Quilombo, they live around collective territory. Also, Quilombos to me means the place where to reconnect your ancestrality. So your memory, you can rebuild community. This, for me, the word Quilombo pretty much means community. How to build community, how to build safety. Also, it's the way to face the social and economic system. Yes, Quilombo was the first way in Brazil to get land outside the official form. That means, and Quilombo is a kind of subversive organization. For this, I use the term, the designation black radical tradition.
And also, one of the things I want to add, and this is for our American audience, some people have also called Quilombo as and I don't know if you agree with this, they have called it as a form of land reparations. I don't know. Well, just in my perspective, in America, there is no official way for Black people to actually claim the land that they worked for through slavery and also after slavery, because we know Black people still continue to work for free on land after slavery ended. Brazil actually has a process where communities can actually claim their land, and some people have. Well, you're going to talk about this. I will let you talk about this, but in America, we do not have this. You guys, we don't have this. So I like to make these comparisons. Also, to our audience, if you have questions, please start posting the questions. So I will interrupt my questions to ask your questions. So my next question to you, Davi, is what are the major issues that Quilombos are facing today in Brazil?
This is, you have a lot, but I mean, I do feel that saying the main Quilombo issue is the racism. I will tell why. Because the first people tend to say, why? Is only the Brazilian just like deny writer Quilombo's comments. But the problem is the Quilombo have in Brazil constitutional rights. You have like the Article 6A. Also, you have like international instrument of law, like Convention 169 from ONU. But Brazil have like in the constitution, you say Brazilian government should give the title of the land for the Quilombos community. But the problem is in Brazil, land is synonym of power. That's the problem. Why I say this racism? Because the Brazilian elite come from land order families. So they are in executive, in the legislation, and in the courts. The jury, the law, almost everybody is coming from this family tradition. So Brazil have this kind of tradition of have like the big farm, like we call it here, latifúndio. So this is so hard to overcome because everywhere you go, have somebody to belong this elite. They like this kind of expression, like the gatekeeper. So
a gatekeeper.
Yes, gatekeeper. So this makes too hard. Even you have to write Brazilian Brazilian state give you the land title. That's a big problem because Brazilian state they recognize your identity as quilombola.
Mhm.
You can say Brazilian state is like Estado reconhecedor. The state you recognize everybody to ask them recognize their identity.
Mhm.
But Brazilian state at the same time they recognize your identity, they deny to you any form of redistribution. And
Mm.
and
So so I mean, they basically you're saying that the government allows you to recognize yourself as a Quilombola, but they
yes,
don't want to give you the land
yes,
that will
yes,
actually make you. I mean, land, like you said, land is power, and so without
yes,
land, so Quilombolas, people from Quilombos have a cultural identity, but the government through racism just doesn't want to give them actually physical wealth or land, which is what they want. They don't want necessarily, yeah.
yes. What the Brazilian government does, they just like make the inverse. They give you the title for your identity, but don't give you the title for your land, for your territory. This,
Mhm.
So Brazilian, they deny constitutional right to quilombolas people.
Mhm.
That is how Brazilian state show how the structure of the state is fairly much racist.
Mhm.
Yeah, that explains also you have no, for example, Brazilian population is more than 15% is black. For example,
Mhm.
in Maranhão you are like about 85% of
85. Yeah.
yes percent black people. By
Mhm.
asking me how many people have like how many deputados deputy in Brazil in
Mhm.
Maranhão blacks?
Mhm.
Almost no one.
None. Wait a minute. So
Yes,
you're saying that Maranhão is 85% black, but very few black government people in the
you
cover
have
government.
yes we have only one federal deputy.
Mhm.
It's called only one. You have 18. You have only one. Asking me how many governor black governor Maranhão has had.
That's my
Almost
question. Do you consider the governor black? Is he black in Maranhão?
no. No.
But okay, you guys, let me show you a picture of the governor in Maranhão because sometimes I'm like, maybe is he black?
Yes, even in US, he is not gonna be black.
Sometimes I'm like, maybe he is black. I don't
Oh,
know. Okay, let's show our audience his picture. Um, oops. In Maranhão. Oh, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on, here we go. I'm going to share with you guys a picture of the governor of Maranhão. Okay, so there he is. Do you see? And Davi says he is not black, but is he white then?
for Maranhão context, he is white, really white.
Okay, so
Believe me.
In Maranhão, he is what he would be considered white. Davi is saying, and
Yes.
this is how race works in Brazil. Depending on where you are, you might not be black. Like if he maybe in the deep south, which is very white, maybe he might be considered black. But in Maranhão,
I'm not sure. I mean, pleno mate, even in Rio Grande do Sul, Santa Catarina, he's white.
okay. So I just wanted to show. So we actually have our first question from our audience. Monique Brazil asked, Brazilians that descend from Quilombolas but didn't grow up in a Quilombo community, can they claim their Quilombola identity? That's a very interesting question.
I have like a tendency to consider how you deal with the Quilombo uh, heritage. Because, okay, if my mother is Quilombola, I'm born in the like San Luis, I mean, not born in Quilombo community, but if you fight for Quilombo, I mean, fight for my tradition, for my family ancestrality, I can, of course, I can claim the identity.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, yes, like Brazilian have a way. I think it's have some way to deal with that because some black intellectual Brazilian they find a way to deal with that because they say how much our black organization have to be seen as Quilombo
Mhm.
because it's way you
Mm.
cannot make the confusion between the place Quilombo with the means what means the word Quilombo for black people.
Mhm.
I'm living in Texas for 5 years because I'm PhD student at University of Texas. I mean, like in my 5 years. So when I get in Texas in 2015, I have a lot of black Brazilian there. I think UT is the most, the university most likely black Brazilian because you have like a lot
Yeah.
Brazilian get PhD there. So you have like a group like, almost like 10 Brazilian, black Brazilians say, you have in Quilombo in Austin because the sense of self-protection, take care if you okay, to learn, to share something, to give you support because it's not easy to live outside Brazil if you uh, come from like Quilombo's community like me.
Mhm.
I miss too much the sense of community. I could reconnect with my community with through this my colleagues in Austin.
Mhm.
I know that I feel like really self-protected by them. This is really good to find it to meet the black Brazilian in Austin. This can make me safe.
Mm. So you agree with them calling themselves a Quilombo?
Yes, I think so. But depends the context because it's not about because some people born in Quilombo community they don't wanna be call themselves like don't want like call yourself Quilombola. You have
Mhm.
this kind, but if you fight because identity is political choice.
Mhm.
It's not a born choice
Mhm.
from my point of view. If you like struggle for um, Quilombo rights, I think you can, if you stand up for that,
Mhm.
I think maybe you can claim it that identity.
And within so my and actually this is an interesting question within the Black Brazilian community, and I don't even know if there exists a Black Brazilian community, but let's say maybe in the Black movement, how does the Black movement treat Black people who are true Quilombolas? Like, are you guys royalty? I mean, are you considered royalty in the Black movement?
I'm in royalty because I'm a prince. So because yeah, Itamatacho is a principado, so I'm a prince. So and it's have like two way to explain this because some of people don't deal really well with this fact you come from Quilombo. This make like some people jealous, but
Really?
th-
So people are jealous of you because you're from a Quilombo.
sometimes this work really well with like black student US too because they almost sometimes black American don't recognize Brazilian black people as black.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that dealing with that is really hard. So when I have like class and ads the Afro diaspora department,
Mm-hmm.
I never say I'm a black Brazilian. No, I say I'm from Quilombo community.
Mm.
Everybody just stand up like. I respect you, man, because you come from. They cannot deny any black. So
So
I
you
usually,
actually, so you receive more respect because you are from a Quilombo.
I think so. Look like when you are there in the class, the black students act like they are in church sometimes because you talk, they all support you to talk.
Mm-hmm.
If they, it's no use they do this with no black American.
Mm.
When I talk in the class, even I have like crazy broken English, but they always support me. And
Okay.
some, but about Brazil, it's like I think you have like two different movements.
Mm-hmm.
Quilombola movement is not the same. It's part, but not it's the same black movement because
Okay.
you have like different demand because the Quilombolas movement
Mm-hmm.
is some way is linked connected this kind of territory and about the right of difference. So it's about identity.
Mm-hmm.
This make it really difficult to you like have conversation discuss in West and Latin America because people say that um, Quilombolas' rights is excluded, excluded because only benefits and the little part of Black Brazilian
Mm.
because it's black who live in the rural area. The big part or big a larger contingent of Black Brazilians are in rural urban area. They are in the favelas. It
Mm-hmm.
this the Quilombolas right don't achieve them. But you have no forget that Quilombolas right was a strategy from Black movement.
Mm.
What the Black movement concerned about Quilombolas communities disappear because we have like many conflict, land conflict involved the territory of Quilombola with the agribusiness.
Mm-hmm.
The way the Black Brazilian movement fought to protect Black Quilombolas territory was put in the Brazilian Constitution, the Article 68.
Mm-hmm.
That's the right of Quilombola result
Mm-hmm.
at the great strategy of Black movement.
Mm. And actually,
But
that was going to be my next question. We have a question from Carla, and Carla, your question is next. But tell us about the 1988 Brazilian Constitution and why this is important for Quilombo communities.
and this is important. You have it behind me. You guys see behind me
Mm-hmm.
the stand up here, this flag here, and it's this guy. This Professor Luizão. He's a doctor quilombola.
Mm-hmm.
He's belong a CCN, Centro de Cultura Negra do Maranhão. In
Mm-hmm.
this center, they start to organize black communities in 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Who and CCN from Maranhão, SEDEMPA is a kind of center for black people in Pará.
Mm-hmm.
You are in like a neighbor state.
Mm-hmm.
They start to organize black rural communities in order to
In Pará.
mobilize
This is in Pará.
Maranhão and Pará.
Okay.
Actually started in Maranhão.
And actually, let me share. I want to share the map because I just want to make sure our audience can
Okay.
see where we're talking about in Brazil.
Okay.
So we got this map of Brazil. Well, actually, a map of South America, and Brazil is right here. This is where Maranhão is, and then Pará is right there, right next to Maranhão, right?
Yes, in the left.
Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. You can continue talking. I just want to zoom in.
So this organization start to organize black rural community in order to mobilize them around territory right. That is good to think about because it's a way to face racism. It's a way to face Brazilian elite.
Mm-hmm.
want to try to guarantee land for black people.
Mm-hmm.
You never had this in Brazil. I'm
Mm.
not sure, but I don't think you have this in Latin America, except in Haiti, maybe.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
So uh, they start to organize. My community is among this community was organized. I remember, I mean, like a little children, like I have like 5 years, like that. I
Mm-hmm.
remember people from CCN coming to my community to make the big meet in order to like protect our rights because we are this time to facing territorial conflict. So from then they organized with black Brazilian who are in the constituent to this black like Benedito da Silva,
Uh,
they use they use your mandato to in order to guarantee this the article 68 be in the Brazilian constitution.
what is it? What is the name of the article? Article 6.
8.
So you're saying the Black Brazilians who were in Maranhão and Pará were in contact with the Black Brazilians who were in Brasilia. I mean, or
Yes,
who were
because
working in Brasilia.
yeah, they are like deputy for Brazilian constituente.
Mm.
They work they have this power. But this is through the mobilization of the Brazilian Black movement, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The Brazilian Black movement connected this organization, Brazilian police, Black Brazilian police, to so they help to guarantee this put on the Brazilian constitution in
And then, and
1988.
was this is this something that everybody agreed to, or like originally? Because I've heard stories that when some Black movement people brought up affirmative action, others were like, "No, I don't agree with that." So when people started talking about including Quilombos in the Constitution, was that what did everybody in the Black movement think? Oh, of course we will include this in the Constitution, or was there a debate?
No, I don't think it's like that easy, but people don't disagree because they feel this kind of community need to be protected, otherwise you disappear. So
Mm-hmm.
they to protect them. So and for Black Brazilian urban, they only get like right and they when they work party get the power, get the office. But
Mm-hmm.
I have to say that Brazilian work party have failed to protect black people from the genocide and from the inequality.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make clear, because in case of Alcantara, was the President Lula, he do not sign up the Alcantara title, non-title.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Make clear that racism is not only for the right wing, it also the left,
Mm-hmm.
because they still white.
Mm-hmm. So next, I want to talk about Carla. Carla has a question for us, and she asks, Davi, could you talk to us more about your experience as a Quilombola intellectual working and studying in the U.S.? Yes. How is it? Are you so? First of all, are you the only Quilombola working and studying in the U.S.? Is there another Quilombola somewhere in the U.S.?
I hope so. That Carla is amazing. And Carla was my homemate in Austin,
Oh, nice.
Texas.
Hey, Carla.
This is kind of conversation you have like after you wake up, before you go to class. Because I make a joke with Carla. I have like my department is far from the main campus.
Mhm.
So I have like 10 ways to get to my department. She just left me because each time I go to Lilas, is my department, I
Mhm.
take a different path to get there.
Mhm.
I, she say, why you do that? I say, because I'm exercising my right to be Quilombo in US too. So that's like why a certain way. Of course, Austin is white
Mm-hmm.
city.
Mm-hmm.
He, Austin is in Texas, in the south of US. Have
Mm-hmm.
to, yes, really white. But Austin is like this kind of city. Uh, they really is a little bit different of the rest of Texas. So
Yeah.
it's all liberal city.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because the city basically was formed by and have like a lot of students, a lot of international students. This make the city more friendly.
Mm-hmm.
You if you are like PhD student and also people really respect you too.
Mm-hmm.
I have some given types of that, but the life sometimes is uh, I I have to use my like to say my Quilombola expertise to survive, and
Which one? Which ones?
no, I can't say that. It's secret because
Okay.
like my department is really friendly department. I love my colleagues in Lilas. I really miss them because they are, if you have some class, took some class, you have some body from Lilas in the same class, make you are sure you are protected because they you do that. This is the
Mm-hmm.
way you Lula's students act.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, how I'm just learn English there to start my PhD. My student, my colleagues help me a lot.
Mm. So
So
you came to the U.S. How was your English when you came to the U.S.?
no one, I have no English even in the border. I chose this is funny story. One day I mean think about I have to like okay I have to go because I reject to go to US like for 5 years, but like
Wait a minute. So they wanted you to come for 5 years, and you said
yes
no.
I say no. So but like the professor Charlie Ray, he convinced me to go. Like
Mm-hmm.
I kind of people I mean feel safe. One day I figure out people means community to me. They say Lila is right place to you. Okay, I went to US, so I one day try to broke my ticket. I thought, wow, no, Texas hard. I don't know gonna make it entry and immigration in Dallas or Houston. So it's okay, Atlanta because they have a lot of black people. Make my life a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I broke my ticket. I arrived in Atlanta and July 12, 2015. There's a
Wow.
lot of black people in the in the immigration the
Uh-huh.
spot.
Uh-huh.
There only one white guys.
Wow.
Only, only one. You
Uh-huh.
have like I stay in line, walk in line, and the white guy come.
So you got the white customs guy, the only white guy.
And he asking me why I'm doing in US. I say, um, I don't speak English. So I stay stand up like 20 minutes until somebody come to translate me. You guys, yes,
Is that a dog?
yes.
I'm like, what is that noise?
And the guys just like use like mic to I need somebody to translate Portuguese. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Nobody came. He say, stand up. Don't worry, somebody coming. Don't worry.
What?
Okay, 20, I think 25 minutes after somebody came.
Uh-huh.
So okay, this guy only when I know why I'm late for school because I'm like I should start my class in July 8th
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, arrived like July 12. I
Mm-hmm.
expand. They have like problem in U.S. embassy. They didn't. They just you don't speak English. Don't worry. You learn. You learn. But please don't party. Study hard. I
Ah,
just follow. I just follow him. I never party. I just only study hard. So,
that's
so
nice.
it's like uh, be intellectual outside my couch is like I have a I have a good experience because Carla make this, Daniela make this, Gustavo make this. Uh, a lot of Brazilian black intellectual are at the same time there with me
Mm-hmm.
make this, but also my colleagues in Lilas take care of me and make feel
Nice.
comfortable. They
Mm-hmm.
always was inclusive with me, so was good. Was a
That's good. I'm glad it
was
was
a good
good.
experience.
So, okay, let's talk about somebody who I don't think you like. Um, uh-oh. Can you tell
Mm.
us, can you talk about President Jair Bolsonaro and his stance for or against Columbus?
Please allow me. Don't I don't will pronounce the name of this guy.
Okay.
The Brazilian president don't stand by Quilombo right. He's racist.
Mm-hmm.
He's make a lot of bad comments about Quilombolas
Mm-hmm.
people. He said that he is against the land right of Quilombolas.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I think we come from who come from Quilombos community. Everything is going on now. We always live like that, no?
Mm-hmm.
Because this kind of racist president, some of them they don't say nothing, but this no make them less racist than this guy.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah,
True.
so this guy represent everything who Quilombolas people reject,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because you like communist, you pretty much stand for human life,
Mm-hmm.
for human rights,
Mm-hmm.
and this guy is not like that. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm. So I was in around Rio. I was in contact with a Quilombo close to Rio, and they said that after the president said what he said against Colombos, their community started to experience severe racism and discrimination from other people around the community. Has your Quilombo experienced?
Uh, the problem is que and after this guy get Brazilian president's office,
So
they
has your Quilombo or other Quilombos experienced a change in the way people treat the community and the people since the arrival of Jair Bolsonaro?
I think so because the people after he get elected, people who are racist feel comfortable. The authorized by them to be racist with Quilombo too,
Mm-hmm.
with every minority in Brazil. Because this guy is no have no only problem about Quilombo. For all minority in Brazil, this
Mm-hmm.
government is against us.
Mm-hmm. And okay, so remember actually, and maybe I can bring it up. So he said, "Oh gosh, I want to repeat. I just want to make sure people understand what Bolsonaro said against Columbus. So I'm gonna bring it up here. Um, so he made a very racist remark against Quilombos. He said, where is it? Hold on. Okay, so first of all, he said that he will not demarcate land for Quilombos. And then he also said that oh gosh, I can't even find the exactly what he said.
He said, Quilombos as Quilombolas people cannot reproduce themselves even because everybody's like
he said
something
yes.
like that.
I mean, he basically said that the only thing that Quilombo people are good for is reproduction, and they're
No,
like making more kids. And he's saying they're not even reproducing or having lots of kids. Now, my
yes,
question for you.
they say that Quilombola people wait wait like 3,000 about 3,000 um, I don't know how to say toneladas.
Mhm.
Even they don't seem to reproduce themselves. It's crazy. Obviously.
So my question
But
to you.
the more,
Okay,
uh-huh, the
I'm sorry.
more okay. I think they really get me frustrated. Actually, not frustrated because the Brazilian Suprema Court deal with them because the Brazilian Suprema Court say that's no racist stuff. Really?
Hmm.
Of course,
So
they agree with him. It's all
and,
white people.
and so there are actually lawyers in Brazil who like it is actually against the law to say racist things in Brazil. And so there were lawyers in Brazil who filed a case against Jair Bolsonaro. This is before he was president for him being racist. And the actual Supreme Court disagreed that this was a racist statement. My
Yeah,
other question to you is so what I noticed about Brazilians is Brazilians have a very circular way of being racist. In America, I feel like a white American will say, if they don't like black people, they will say, I don't like black people. And when Jair Bolsonaro talked about quilombolas, do you think that he was essentially talking about all black people, or was he just talking about quilombolas? What is your opinion? Because when I heard his statements, to me, I felt it was a message for all black people.
yeah. I think during his life, he's always make clear they don't like black people. This you have like a lot of statement from these guys in the media because
Mhm.
the program of humor in Brazil, they make this guy, they give voice to this guy
Mhm.
because the media in Brazil, they are racist like Bolsonaro is. It's the same. It having no difference in the
Mhm.
Brazilian main media and Jair Bolsonaro because if this guy get the offices, elected the office, why?
Mhm.
It's because the media support him.
Mhm. Mhm. Good point. I want to remind our audience, if you have any questions, we're open for questions, and I'll continue asking my questions. Okay, so you will have to now our next question, because our audience is not probably not familiar with it. Well, some of our audience isn't not familiar with this. Can you explain to us what why your particular area of Quilombo's Alcantara is um a very unique place, and why the American government has an interest in the areas where those Quilombo's are? Like it's a bit complicated. So explain to us because we don't know anything.
What Alcantara is a place. He's really close to the equator line. So by for Brazilian U.S. government this make the right ideal place to launch rocket to space.
Mm-hmm.
So because you like can like save like about 30% of combustible to using the to send rockets to space.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the the question is this territory is it belongs to Quilombos communities almost like for 3 century, 3 4 century.
300 years. Wow.
Yeah, yes, that black communities is there.
Mm-hmm.
So this Brazilian government just like uh, this displaced people in compulsory way, take off people from their land
Mm-hmm.
to build a center to launch rocket to the space.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like 40 years ago, and uh, and last year after Bolsonaro get the office of president, he went to Washington and make agreement with you president.
Mm-hmm.
So now what mean that this means Brazilian government allows American government to build a kind of military base inside our territory to allow U.S. company, private U.S. company, it
Mm-hmm.
may be the U.S. arm to launch not only satellites, because for me it's military base. That's me military base like they have in different parts of the world, like they have in Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
That means
Mm-hmm.
for that
Mm-hmm.
Brazilian government are now in this period you are like in the under the crisis of coronavirus. They
Mm-hmm.
try to displace around 800 community family
Mm-hmm.
from their territory to allow U.S. government to build a space for send staff to the space.
So you're saying that the Brazilian government right now is kicking
Uh,
families off of their land to make space for the U.S. government rocket launches
right,
right now. Like, have they
right
are they
now.
still on their land, or have they been kicked out already?
No, they still in the land, but the
Okay.
Brazilian government after the pandemic go, probably you do it.
Mm.
That's a thing because I wanna reflect you guys because if you take what's going on right now in West, the people are in, like raise their voice because against police brutality
Mm-hmm.
because the George Floyd death.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think American society have to be in silence about Alcantara because it's almost the same. My question for American society is: you guys really will you allow that your government kick off 800 family
Mm-hmm.
for get profit to
Mm-hmm.
launch stuff to space? Really?
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference in this kind of racism?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's no matter where you have to be concerned with you as he because is it your government affect your life, threat your life.
Mm-hmm. Now, for some of us, it's obvious why it's a bad thing to kick families off of their land. But when I posted my video in another Brazilian group, one person said, wait a minute, isn't having a US base, or isn't having this space camp a good thing? Some people actually think, can you explain to someone who might think that having the US expand and take away land from Quilombolas is good. Can you explain to them why this is a bad thing?
Why is this bad thing? Because people don't want be kicked from their territory, because this is the place where they live for generation, like for 3 centuries of generation. The people have identified themselves with the land. The people, the way of life, the Quilombola life, is like to be fishing, to be farm, to be crop. No, is that the way of the light? This way of the light have to be respectful for everybody. Don't matter. And that I don't. For my understanding, Brazilian government don't need to displace anybody for keep the agreement with US, because Brazilian already have a base there where US can launch they select the stuff then to the space. My question: why they need a specific spot only for their use? That's not making no sense. Why people need to be kicked off? They learn the territories they have like historical ties to give space to build an center to launch stuff to the space. Maybe the US government or the US company have interest like only for 2 years. After that, they just like kick you out of that. But how you reconstruct the life of these people? Because it's about time. You don't you can look behind, but you don't you haven't. I don't know if you already like could like make travel the time to fix the thing you left behind. You cannot do that. So I don't think that's the better deal. I think if you U.S. government wanna take your stuff lunch by the Alcantara, they can use the 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 site you already have.
And I read somewhere that there have been families who were kicked off their land 30 years ago.
Yes.
Correct. And can you explain what happened to these families who were kicked off their land when they built the original space center?
They live in the small agro village, but they lost their place to fishing. They don't allow fishing in the where they fish before. They lost the place where they're cropping. They pretty much was abandoned by Brazilian government.
So we cannot trust if the Brazilian government says, "Oh, I'm going to just give you some more land." We can't trust that these people will continue to have support.
Yes, of course now, because 30 years ago, Brazilian government removed these people and never pay for their land. People already passed away. People in the second or third generation never get their right recognized, because Brazilian government never give them any money by you for your land. And this will happen again if the Brazilian government really takes serious to remove people for U.S. government building this place to send rockets to this place.
So we actually have another question from our audience from Brian Long. He says, Flavio Gino, the governor of Maranhão, is he a fighter against racism? And is he fighting for the rights of Quilombolas, for their rights for land and their culture? This is a good question. Ooh.
And thank you, Brian. You give him a chance. because when before and Brazilian government authorized like US to come this there, they have like agreement about the and the agreement of technological. This is in Portuguese. I don't know. All right, the translation to English. Acordo de salvaguarda tecnológica.
Mm.
For this, and the Flávio Dino was ally of Bolsonaro for Brazilian congressman approved that.
Mm-hmm.
So have like in case he and the island of São Luís for building and port by the Chinese company. He also Flávio Dino allowed the people being kicked off day in the land for
Mm-hmm.
open space for this company build the port.
Mm-hmm.
because
So people have already lost their already been kicked off for another project.
Yes, and that's Flávio Dino allowed that. Now he say position yourself against the people in Alcantara being kicked off. He say the Maranhão government don't agree, don't you allow them, they you fight for that. But if I don't believe it, because when you try to deal with them to support us, to not allow the agreement being approved in the Brazilian congressman, they vote, they articulate with Maranhão deputy to be approved there. So this way, he's ally for this case with Bolsonaro government. Have no do. So,
but here's the thing: in American media, in international media, Flavio is presented as the opposite of Bolsonaro. Like all the stories that people write about him, they say that he's more liberal and he's a good governor and that he's improving Maranhão because Maranhão had 50 years of the same family that was robbing the state. So what do you think? What do you think about his image? Is his image correct or incorrect?
Yes, he is right about the family to robbery for 50 years. Maranhão, he's correct. But I never heard he said he's Negro. Because
that he's black. You never heard him say what?
No, he's black. I never heard him say that. Like stuff like that. I don't. He's like it's this kind of liberal person. They wanna get the power anyway, but he already make agreement with international capital. He's in favor of that big projects. If he have to support between Quilombolas right and big project, I'm sure he will support big project.
Big project, okay.
Yeah, so.
But is there a way for Maranhão to protect Quilombola rights and invest in big projects that improve the economy of the entire state?
No, I think the problem is the option of Maranhão government for the kind of development they wanna follow. That's the problem. Because this is like Western way to see development. This like is conflict with Quilombo way to live is development too. So Quilombola people just wanna stay in their territory, like because they wanna enjoy the citizenship. And for me, Brazilian government, even Maranhão government, don't recognize Quilombola people as citizens. No, and so for us, it's really complicated because the big project having Maranhão, every big project have a Maranhão, they'll impact on Quilombola territory or traditional territory like indigenous, who broke coconut. So it's a lot of people who are impacted by Quilombola by the big project, they have another problem. They never come and like the way they try to negotiate with these people is really bad
Mm.
because they really don't listen to us. The
Mm-hmm.
racism, the racism don't allow them listen to us
Mm-hmm.
because like sometimes like if you need do something through my territory, you should to ask me if you
Mm-hmm.
allow me. If he say yes, how I can do it,
Mm-hmm.
but they no never ask. They just like girls when you see they already like are in your territory.
Mm-hmm.
It's like because it's just black people. This is the case of the base of Maranhão because when in AD when the Brazilian government start to building the base in Alcantara, they say having no people there is demographic input. You know why? You know because have no people there because we are black, of course. Because they make a map. I have this map.
Mm-hmm.
They show only 10 communities. In place where you have more than 100 communities.
Mm-hmm.
Say, no, this is input territory. Okay, they don't see us.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way the Brazilian state treats us because they dehumanize us. Ourselves.
Mm-hmm. So we actually have another question from Brian. Brian asks, the concept of quilombismo that was promoted by Abdias Nascimento, how does the concept of quilombismo of Abdias relate to quilombos?
That's a good question, Brian. And that's like this is amazing concept by Nascimento. Why? Because you remember I talked earlier about you think about every black organization being Quilombo
Mm-hmm.
because this definition from Abdias because why you think because like Sunday school
Mm-hmm.
does this Quilombismo because Quilombismo is the way black people organize themselves
Mm-hmm.
to fight against racism.
Mm-hmm.
Né? You have like some difference because Quilombismo is shaped more for people who are in urban area
Mm-hmm.
to miss how how this work, but
Mm-hmm.
um, it's the way the black people manifest themselves against racists. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's so good, it's so beautiful to you think that every black people in Brazil, when organize themselves, they are in practice this is Quilombo who are linked or ancestralities for black
Mm-hmm.
people.
So I actually another question related to Alcantara and the base, the army base for space launches. What can we do? Like when I say we, I am talking about maybe Black people in the U.S., but what can people around the world do to prevent the removal of these 800 families from their Quilombo? Like, what do I need to do to stop this?
I think you have to stand up for our country too. No,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it's as I said before, like if you stand up right now against racism and police brutality in Alcantara, we have to stand up also against racism which is occurring in Alcantara
Mm-hmm.
because uh, I think people have no let Brazilian government kick off 800 family for for somebody to have profit.
Mm-hmm.
So because if he Black Lives Matter in US, Black Lives Matter in our country too. You
Mm-hmm.
know, doesn't matter why
Mm-hmm.
because and right they killed the racism killed was brother George Floyd in US.
Mhm.
but the racism also are support genocide and black community in Brazil. In
Mhm.
this case of Alcantara, also is a kind of genocide because what Brazilian government wanna do is clean up
Mhm.
the region for it's not matter only US but for US for uh, any country who wanna go to come to Alcantara and
Mhm.
use this space to launch.
Mhm.
They wanna clean up the area. They're gonna push off the quilombolas for nobody be see black there, and because they for Brazilian government, black lives matter. Black life really don't matter. No.
Mhm. Mhm. So, I want to remind our audience, if you have any questions, like we've been on here an hour and 10 minutes, and I know, like I did a 45-minute interview in Portuguese, and my brain was exploding. So I know Davi's brain is probably exploding right now. My last question, prepared question that I had is, can you talk about your academic work and how your work is helping Quilombolas to fight against erasure?
And my it's pretty much match with Carla question too. Because I use my academic work as
Mm-hmm.
way to help and to support and Quilombolas fight
Mm-hmm.
for right.
Mm-hmm.
He also it's kind of weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Is I think it's my responsibility as an intellectual Quilombolas intellectual
Mm-hmm.
use the place I am at to to put to help my community because this is my people,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I'm part of them. I'm share identity with them. I'm share the struggle with them. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good. So I have to use because sometimes academy work can be really useful for Quilombo's communities.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what I do is put my knowledge to support people, and
Mm-hmm.
so I'm writing for case of your country. I'm already wrote a book. This book
Mm-hmm.
is really important because this helped people in 2009
Mm-hmm.
when Brazilian government make agreement with Ukrainian government and
With the Ukrainian government. Mm-hmm.
yeah, yes. So and Brazilian government tried to kick off like two communities about like two 200 families.
Mm-hmm.
So my research was good because and federal prosecutor used that
Mm-hmm.
to in favor of the communities.
Mm-hmm.
So and because
And can you explain to our audience what is your research, like in basic terms?
yeah
Simple
yeah
terms.
yes, I generally use the technique of social mapping
Mm-hmm.
to building knowledge with people. I don't do my research by myself. I need to establish the trust relationship with the truly relationship with people to people feel safe to helping me to building the maps. So this is the way to sharing knowledge. So I use that in 2009. I am in some of Quilombolas. You make a map and use them to go to the court to claim the Quilombolas' right to be protected, the
Mm-hmm.
territory right to be protected,
Mm-hmm.
and you are really successful in this in this claim in this question,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm really I'm proud myself to because I can use everything I learn in
Mm-hmm.
favor of my community.
Nice.
I think the academic work is important when they have like social impact, social positive impact. The people who work is involved in this research can be benefited by this.
So I have one more question, and Monique comes with the spicy questions. Monique Brazil says, what is the most difficult thing for you as a Brazilian, as a Black Brazilian man living in the US?
Because I'm black, big Brazilian man.
You said black, big Brazilian man? You're not big.
I mean, but for in context of Texas, I'm a big man.
Okay.
People in Texas asking me if I play like football. They stop me.
Yes, you do look like a football player. Yes.
Yeah, but to make like no like big like George Floyd is a big man, but like I'm still big man. So this like so afraid because I know everybody has a gun in the state.
In Texas, yes, Texas people have guns.
Yes, so I have like take care of myself, and I also like keep my mouth shut because like if I walking in the street like talk English, everybody know you. No American. Then this can be like complicated too. But I never like I avoid to be out my home at night. I do it. Of course, I hang out with my friend, but I have like take care. I have like I avoid go to the supermarket at night.
Really?
Because the parking area and the supermarkets for to get in the supermarket, first you have to go through the park line in the supermarket. This is a dangerous place for black men at night. Because anybody can shot you and say this guy just threatened my life.
Okay.
So
do you feel safer in the US than in Brazil, or you feel safer in Brazil than in the US?
If you are black, you are safe anywhere. You are not safe anywhere.
Okay.
So I have like take care, and I never like walk behind somebody like closely. No, no way. I was like a little far. I like to go to walking around Colorado River and Zucker Park in Austin. It's like beautiful place. But I was doing really early, never after get dark. Because I don't wanna be there. Because in Austin you have like only few blacks. Where I live, have you only some black who are student. Of course, everybody, even the police, if you are black, you are in this area, probably you are a UT student. So this make you a little safe because they don't. This guy have to live in the university housing. This, but I don't like it. Stay. You have like a street have a lot of parties. 6th Street. I have went there sometime, but I never like stand up a lot of time. It never I go there alone. I was with some friend because for me it's more protect. So I avoid take Uber at night.
Man, you. These are the things I do in Brazil, in Rio, because Rio is dangerous. I'm sorry. So, wow.
Because you have like a different, like the language could be complicated to even when I figured out even in US some people don't American they sometimes they can like understand each other.
That's true.
So
That's true.
Because they have like different barrier. So once I took an Uber for at like it's like 8-9 at night. I went to a friend birthday And the guy of Uber start to talk to me, say, you know, what I'm not like in Texas is the people from the outside because they're really conservative. And oh my God. But
Wow.
I'm pretty calm. And so really, yeah, they're really conservative. This guy don't realize I'm black.
Oh gosh. Wow.
that, that's
And
uh,
has your family been to Brazil yet? Has your family visited you?
no, my family have no money to go to US, so I have no way to my family went to visit me there. Yeah, also my family don't don't like my mom have like chronic problem of kidneys, so she cannot make like long
So she has to get dialysis. Dialysis.
yeah, yes, she does. My father, he's a little old, but they both have like afraid to fly. They don't
Mm-hmm.
fly even to from São Luís to Goiânia, where my brother lives. They
Mm-hmm.
say no, 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 thank you. So
So I don't know about you, Davi, but do you see a political future for yourself? I mean, why can't you go back to Maranhão and run for deputado, become a deputado, or become a vereador? Do you want to do that? Because you could represent the Quilombo people.
if I think about this, I want to start to wanna be Brazilian president
Okay.
because right now you have no Brazilian president. So I can be better than this guy for
Mm-hmm.
sure. So I don't want to be vereador. If you want to start to be police, I have to be Brazilian president.
Yeah, but
I
you
mean, really,
gotta start somewhere. So you gotta start at the state level.
no, of course not. Why? And see the case of Trump. He was deputy
Okay,
something like that.
yes, Trump.
Why I don't I have to go like president?
But so, what do you after you get your PhD? What are you going to do? It's my last question. What do you plan to do after you get your PhD?
I wanna be professor. I love be professor. I
Okay.
love I love deal with students. I think it is two things I love in Austin UT. One was I was the first time and teacher assistant for Professor Marcelo Paixão.
Mm-hmm.
He's Brazilian. What's funny? Two black Brazilian in the same class room. You got like 50, 50 students, a lot of students.
Mm-hmm.
Almost most of them from fraternity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have like four black students. They of course stand up around that. Yeah, like a lot of white students.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like I myself say, you are concerned about a lot of black students, a lot of white students. Really concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have to. What's my first time? I have to lead the class by myself,
Mm-hmm.
alone,
Mm-hmm.
with my broken English. But like the student was amazing with me.
Nice.
When the when they finish the semester, everybody come like hug me because my class gets sometimes too emotional.
Mm-hmm.
I because the class is about uh, black issue in Latin America
Mm-hmm.
and show how Latin America is really difficult place to black live like USCR.
Mm-hmm.
The students get too involved and sometimes too emotional because I remember and I showed the video where the guy in Salvador was treating racism in the bank,
Oh, I saw
Brazilian
that.
bank.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I showed his daughter crying.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody cried cried in the class.
Wow.
But I love being professor. I love like teach class, but I love this life with the student, this environment with
Mm-hmm.
students,
Mm-hmm.
the academy. I really like that. Yeah, really like to become a professor because I think as professor I can help my people.
Mhm. So one last question we got. So Franklin Carvalho, you got the last question. How do you perceive the possibility of exchanges between Black and Indigenous intellectuals from different places and countries?
Wow, this I love that. And this guy, he asked the question. Sometimes he create this environment to
Oh,
involve
nice.
black student, indigenous student, and last year he invited me to go to Congress where we are like black intellectual from Quilombos,
Mhm.
indigenous one. I
Wow.
think it's amazing experience because we can learn so much each other because we don't see each other like traits,
Mhm.
no, but you see yourself like you can build something. You can be constructive.
Mhm.
You can build something big
Mhm.
because it's are like knowledge are crossing Brazil pretty much with the situation you are facing,
Mhm.
black black people and indigenous people. And I like to discuss with the indigenous intellectual because I like learn from them too. This is
Nice.
like and if I have to choice to be professor if you have a like indigenous university or a university where bring together indigenous and Quilombolas people, black people, this is my best place for a stay.
Nice. Well, we've been on here for an hour and a half. I just want to let you guys know actually what I want to do. Sometimes I have problems working this. Where am I? I want to remind you guys that tomorrow we have one last conversation this week. Humberto Baltar, he's an English teacher in Rio de Janeiro, and he started a collective called Pais Pretos. So we're going to talk with him about being a Black father in Brazil, which is very important right now, given what is going on in the U.S. And I want to thank Davi for everything that he's done, and all the information that he shared. This video will be on YouTube forever, forever. So you will be able to go back to this video and also, what's the best way to get in contact? If
With
somebody wants to get in contact with you, what's the best way?
you can I have an Instagram.
And what is your Instagram?
It's a nobre dot Pereira.
Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna post it on here. I hope I'm posting it right. Is that it?
Yes,
Okay, perfect.
you
So
can follow me here.
if you want to get in contact, well, first of all, do we call you Davi or Nobri?
No, that is I told you I'm a prince, so do you use nobre.
Okay. So follow him, get on contact with him on Instagram there. Thank you so much for this wonderful in-depth conversation on Quilombos, and I will see you guys around tomorrow, same time. Bye.
Thank you for the space.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.